What's up, Peep Squad? Peep Squad is in the building, baby. Please like, comment, subscribe, share the video. It'll be greatly appreciated. Let's get down to the situation. Let's talk about Miss NeNe Leakes. Let's talk about Andy Cohen. And let's talk about the Real Housewives of Atlanta. So let's get into it. As you guys know, NeNe Leakes was recently on The Real not too long ago. And she said that she's open to returning to the Real Housewives. But first, she has to have a conversation with Andy. And we know that Andy don't look like he want to have a conversation point blank, period. But in any event, Andy knows that NeNe Leakes was on The Real because he responded to what NeNe Leakes said on The Real last week or maybe 2 weeks ago. And he said that the best thing to do is to keep NeNe Leakes' name out of his mouth, and he's not going to address or talk about her at all. He gonna leave it be. He said he had a conversation with her about Greg Leakes passing, and he gave his condolence, and I guess he was moving forward. R.I.P. rest in power to Greg Leakes. But in any event, so now Andy is on The Real, and he was asked by Loni Love, now former Housewives of Atlanta star NeNe Leakes, was recently on our show. She said that she would be open to returning to the show if you two had a conversation. And so Andy was asked that question, so he responds. And Andy responded in the shady way that he knows how to respond. And basically, he says, you know, we are in the midst of shooting season 14 of the Atlanta Housewives, and it's great. And Marlo has her peach, and Sheree is back, and we have some new faces. I was like, Lord have mercy. So he's going all the way there. Basically, he is throwing digs at NeNe Leakes because NeNe Leakes said that she doesn't think that Marlo should have a peach. And Andy makes sure he mentioned that Marlo has her peach. And also another OG is back on the show, which is Sheree Whitfield. And so, you know, basically he's saying that we don't need no NeNe Leakes. And then he also says that Kenya Moore is on fire this season. So basically he's saying he got Marlo, he has Sheree Whitfield, and he has Kenya Moore, and Kenya Moore is on fire this season for season 14. And basically he is just focusing on the Real Housewives of Atlanta now, season 14, because they're filming, and right now he's not looking beyond that right now. I was like, Lord have mercy. The shade. How come he didn't say Kandi Burruss' name? Like, what's going on? Like, I guess it is what it is. You guys let me know what you think about that situation. He didn't even mention you, Kandi. I don't know what's going on with that, but he did throw up Marlo, so that means Marlo's gonna come in on fire. That means Marlo's ready to give it up, baby. And in any event, we're gonna see how this whole situation pans out. But unfortunately, it seems like we're not going to see NeNe Leakes at all. And right now, it looks like there's a no-go for NeNe Leakes to return to the Real Housewives. You know, there has been rumors and speculation that NeNe Leakes was offered some money to have an appearance, you know, on the Real Housewives of Atlanta season 14. But the way that Andy talking, the way that Andy's looking, he's basically saying we don't need NeNe Leakes. We are all set with NeNe Leakes. I was just, Lord have mercy. And then Andy said we have some new faces. He didn't even mention Sidora, but basically he was throwing shade at NeNe Leakes because she did have prior beef with Kenya Moore. She did have prior beef with Sheree Whitfield. And so basically he's saying that we giving these ladies the opportunity, and they're working for us, and they're doing right by us. So therefore, NeNe, we don't need you, and I'm not going to respond to anything that you say out here. I was like, Lord have mercy. So he's throwing all his shade. He's throwing every piece of shade that he can throw. I was like, Lord have mercy. Wait till he goes through what NeNe Leakes is going through. And in any event, it's like nobody understands that. Okay, listen, we know that Greg Leakes' cancer had returned. But when we found out, and when the doctors found out, the cancer was already spread through his body. So right then and there, NeNe was facing a battle of losing her husband, and then also taking care of him, and just being without him, point blank, period. As you guys know, NeNe did multiple, interviews, or, she did sit downs to talk about how she felt and what she was going through when it came to the Real Housewives of Atlanta. and the mistreatment and things of that nature. And yes, she shaded Andy, baby. She shaded him down to the ground. But at the same time, that's coming from a woman that is grieving already, and her husband is still breathing. We have no idea what Greg Leakes looked like in that home and what he was going through in his final days. And NeNe being aware of his final days and being there. As you guys know, Peter Thomas, he spoke. And so Peter Thomas even hopped on Instagram and he gave everybody like a description of how it was and what it was like to see Greg as he was in hospice in his own home. How he said he didn't even know that was Greg. He said that wasn't my friend there. I didn't even know that man that was in that bed. He wasn't Greg. And he said it's just such a shame. And he was so hurt. It was him and Apollo. So imagine NeNe fighting that battle and going through that battle, and then also needing to let the public know that Greg is passing on. So in any event, she was stressed out. She was going through a whole bunch of things. And unfortunately, you know, she said some things that maybe she might regret. And she said it publicly. She said it out loud. And it went against Andy. And it went against the network. And it could be a whole lot going on. The reason why she did that, because she lost her husband, and she was losing her husband. At the same time, she was losing a person that helped her when it came to, you know, managing all the stores that she has. As we know that NeNe's stores have closed down, and, you know, basically her boutiques is now online. You know, he was in charge of all of that stuff. And, you know, how do you think that he was able to even continue managing, you know, the books, managing everything? You know what I mean? It's just so sad. And NeNe publicly acted out. You know, she didn't know what to do. And basically, she wasn't getting what she wanted from Bravo. They wasn't listening to her. They wasn't paying her no mind. She felt mistreated. She felt disrespected. She felt used. Then at the same time, her husband is at home passing away. And she took to social media. And sometimes when you're going through things, the last thing you need to do is tune into social media, because social media will get you caught out there. For real, for real. But in any event, I think she deserves a pass. I think Andy should forgive her. I think the network should forgive her. And understand, if you ain't never watched someone that you love, that you knew half your life, pass away in your home, and there's nothing that you can do about it, there's nothing you can say, there's no medicine, there's no nothing, and you just watching them in pain, you're just watching them suffer, and they're just no longer there. It's just a vessel there, you know. So she took to social media, and it wasn't the best move, but at that time she probably thought it was the best move for her to do. And in between time and meantime, Andy Cohen and the network and the producers did not like it. So therefore, this is why we have Andy on The Real, you know, basically saying we don't need NeNe Leakes no more. And that's a hard pill to swallow, but in any event, it is what it is. But I believe that NeNe Leakes can reinvent herself. I think she needs to start a public journey of, you know, surviving the old me and returning to the new me, the new normal, the new things that I'm going through, the new things that I'm doing, how I feel, what I think, and what I want to change and what I want to do better. And also take a religious aspect to the situation. I think she needs to, you know, go on a pilgrimage or just restart over, and then let the public see her journey as she's changing her own documentary that she documents online. And then I believe that will clear the airway and the doors will start open, because every Hollywood celebrity, that A-listers, when they mess up or they do something that go against the grain, what happens is they reinvent themselves. They have a documentary about them changing, them fighting off things, them being a new person, them becoming one. Then before you know it, all the Hollywood opportunity starts to open up. And people can't say no more. Because I ain't that same person that you don't like. I'm a whole different person. This is me. And let's see. You guys let me know what you think.